It's time to get activated, gamers, because you're listening to the GigaBoots Game of the Year 2022, featuring Dan and Bob video games.
Bob, I've decided they're all Game of the Year.
They are games of that year.
Chris Wolfhart.
Not guilty of insider trading.
And Dr. Agro.
I'm glad I spent this whole year knowing I'd be on this podcast.
This episode features outrageous categories such as
Most likely to be delayed, the PS2 Game Award, and Most Mind-Numbing Bark.
So grab your Nuggies and Mountain Dew, gamers, sit back in your race car chair and get ready, because the GigaBoots Game of the Year 2022 Podstravaganza starts right now! Yippee!
Hello and welcome to Game of the Year 2022, Part 2, here at GigaBoots. I'm your host, Dan Video Games, and with me is Bob.
Hey guys.
Chris Wolfhart.
Yo.
And Dr. Agro.
Hello.
And we've got a lot of categories to go, so let's get going. First category, I will not delay any further, most likely to be delayed.
Classy.
The nominees are Alan Wake 2, Ark 2, Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16, Forza Motorsport. Still don't have a subtitle or a number. It is the forever game. Mina the Hollower, Pragmata, Redfall, Starfield, Skull and Bones, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Chris was making a valid point before we recorded of, should Kickstarter games be eligible even because they're so dominant in this field?
Look, they put a date out. End of discussion.
I guess that's true, but that's never actually treated as the date with Kickstarter games. They always never even address the fake date they set on the Kickstarter.
Which here's the thing, though. We all think that's going to be a problem. Like, that's going to be the dominant, and we need to worry about it. No, we all know we're just going to furiously vote for Dead Island 2 because none of us want to live in a timeline where Dead Island 2 ships. How else are we going to have a secret $50 pre-order waiting for our Switch 2 pre-order? Oh, man. I'm going to give us 5 votes each, which seems like a lot, but there are a lot of nominees here. What is that, 15? Yeah, that's 15 nominees.
Wow.
So we're going to go ahead and start with Chris.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that's at the end of the year. I feel like it's obviously in the danger zone already.
Right, it probably means March.
It's actually winter. So it could be any time between that December and that next February. Which is why we won't even know by next Game of the Year if it's delayed. Unless they go, yeah, it's not even showing up by February, you guys.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League ain't shipping when they said it's shipping. That just ain't happening.
I'm really curious when they said it was shipping.
I don't know, but whenever they said it was, it wasn't. It's wrong.
I'm going to look this up while he continues to vote.
May 26th. That is not happening.
Yeah, no way.
They'll be lucky if that game ships in the calendar year.
You get 3 more votes.
Starfield.
Okay.
I think that now that Todd Howard is hooked into the infinite money and time machine, and this is his dream game, he will just he ain't gonna let this go out until he's like convinced it's perfect.
I think that's a really solid argument to make. Do we currently have a release date? 2023?
No, but we know it's supposed to be in the first half because that's what they said at E3 last year. All the games were the first half.
Yeah, they said that everything will be out by the next E3 showing. So,
didn't they say that when they were still intending to ship it November this year, though?
No.
I think that delay
I think they had already delayed it by then.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And even if that was so, they still said it. Let's see, when was Starfield's delay?
Yeah, I'm trying to look that up now. It looks like November. So they did assume they were sticking to the track record. Well,
Yeah, they were delayed to the first half of 2023. So
Okay.
in
Okay.
October, they specifically said that. So
actually, it looks like they did this in May. May is when they delayed to the first half of 2023.
okay, maybe that story was just updated. It's so
Yeah,
confusing how
they
some
did
people-
another press cycle in November to explain why it was delayed
Yes,
out
it was,
of November.
It was in May.
Really weird. Okay. Well, yeah, there you go. It needs to ship in the first half of next year. Otherwise, that's a delay for both Redfall and Starfield. So you're voting for Starfield. Shocking.
I'm also voting for Redfall.
That's shocking. Double shocked.
And honestly, if you put the gun to my head, I'd say Redfall is probably even more likely because that game just looks not done. And lastly, Skull and Bones.
Yeah. That's supposed to ship by the end of March, correct?
Yes, financial year. Yeah, at the end of the quarter.
Nothing sus about that date. It's just when we thought artistically it would really come into its own as a project.
And if you're wondering why Hogwarts Legacy isn't on this list, it would be delayed between the time we recorded this and it coming out because it has to pass cert.
Okay, we're gonna go next to Bob.
Okay. I know this is a wild allegation, but Starfield.
Jesus Christ. Any other words to share with that one?
No, I
Okay.
think we all know there is no Bethesda game that's ever come out on time.
Well, it already got delayed once, certainly. That'll
Yeah.
be the only time.
I'm going to show my next vote onto Armored Core 6 because it's a FromSoft game.
Do you really think FromSoft would delay an important game?
No. Now that they have infinite money from Elden Ring selling more than copies than God. Never. Final Fantasy 16. I think 7 is the obvious shoo-in for this, but there's just this feeling with 16, just like with 15. I feel like we're going to get 1 month out and they'll be like, oh no, we need to take even more time.
I would like to believe it not being built on that engine or headed by Tabata. We're safe from that.
Right.
Or only having like 2 years of actual development.
Mhm.
Like this has obviously been in the can for a while.
Right. Like this is obviously looking a lot more sturdy than that. But I still have like it's a Square Enix game fear.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. And we won't know until like 6 weeks before. It'll fail cert like Final Fantasy VII Remake didn't get pushed back 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was like that happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
Didn't it also happen with Kingdom Hearts?
I'm trying to remember.
No, that shipped when it was supposed to because that
Okay.
shipped in January.
No, but as an Xbox owner, my DLC got
It's sort of
That's what I was thinking
you
of.
You might count it because they said a bunch. This will ship in 2018, and then when they actually announced the release dates, like January 18th, 2019.
I realized a number of people are probably new enough listeners that they thought that was a joke I was making at the expense of Xbox fans. No, that was real.
Oh no, Remind was a month out for Xbox, which really made Dad mad because he played it on Xbox.
I
and it performed
100%ed
better.
it on Xbox, and it was supposed to perform better, but it didn't even do that.
Oh no.
God.
Because I had the One X. I was like, certainly the most powerful console ever made can play Kingdom Hearts better. And they're like, no, and also you don't get the DLC on time. You have 2 more votes, Bob.
Okay, I'm also showing it on Suicide Squad. That ain't shipping in May. And Dead Island 2. It's got to get a vote. I'm sorry. A game this delayed not getting voted for in this section? Can't happen.
No, this is preposterous. Dr. Aggro.
For my first vote, yeah, I'm with Bob on this one. I mean, we were all there. You can tell me Dead Island 2 is going to release. That doesn't mean I have to believe it. It is just like, is it possible? Sure, but until you show me that happening, I got nothing for you. That's not a thing that exists. Second up, I'm also going to vote for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Similarly, because I don't actually believe that game is ever coming out. I think they're going to spin it out forever and sell you spin-off games. But Rebirth is never actually happening. Next year, guys. We promise. Next year.
We've almost got it down.
Oh, let's see here. I have nothing but faith in the amazing power of Bethesda to deliver a complete product on time now that they've been bought by Microsoft, which I have been told by very smart people fixes all problems a company has immediately and forever.
That is true.
So I'm going to go with Pragmata, mostly just because I think it would upset Bob.
I mean, we know nothing about that game, so it would not surprise me if they're like, it's not coming out for 2 more years.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You're telling me this game, I've seen literally 0 frames of gameplays coming out in the next 11 and a half months. Sure.
I'm going to take kind of a long shot here with rumors swirling about us not getting a new version of the Switch next year.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm going to kick a vote to Tears of the Kingdom. As I flash back to the crumpled, faded receipt I had when they pushed the release of Twilight Princess for a year and a half.
Local Zelda fan never forgives, never forgets.
Oh, don't worry. They did that with Breath of the Wild too.
Man, Nintendo would just do that. They'd only have to delay it like 8 months too.
It's the most consistently delayed franchise.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hell or High Water, Skull and Bones is happening. That has the full force of the Singaporean army behind it. I'm going to go with Diablo 4 because, I mean, come on. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, we just had that article come out of like, yeah, no, the development on this has been literally hell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I was thinking about too. So I just want to get on the record, what is ARC 2's release date currently set as?
I think it's another generic 2023 date.
Okay, so my first vote is ARC 2.
But Vin Diesel.
That shit ain't happening. My second vote is Pragmata. That shit ain't happening. It's just not. Like, we haven't fucking seen a single fucking frame of gameplay that's supposed to come out in the next 11 and a half months? No way. That's crazy. Why isn't Exoprimal here?
Oh, I didn't put it in there. My bad.
That's okay. It wouldn't have competed with this list anyways.
No.
My next nominee is Forza Motorsport. There's a good reason for this, okay?
Okay.
Chris Sasaki, the brilliant mind behind Kill Switch, is going to reinvent driving simulators as we know it. He's going to need a little bit more time with Forza Motorsport, the game he's the director of.
Will he add shooting?
If we're lucky.
They have him at Microsoft, but won't have him save Gears. That's so sad.
Yes, it is. Maybe he's safe because he's safe from Gears. Maybe that's how he feels about it. I would have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to not vote for Starfield. There's such a high probability of that game not coming out in the next 5.5 months. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like it is so likely that game gets pushed even 2 months to like August.
They have to do the delay to put it on PlayStation 2.
Man, backporting that to the PS2 is going to be hard, Bob.
Yes, it is.
And lastly, yet again, I would have to just be denying history to say it. Armored Core 6, obviously. It's made by FromSoft. They're known for caring about the quality of their games, and they're willing to delay, important entries. And I think this is it. They didn't rush this game out. A lot of people thought Armored Core 6 was coming last year or early this year because of all the leaks, but it didn't happen. I think that there's a possibility if it doesn't come together the way they want, they'll delay it again. Let's get these votes tallied, though, and see what it looks like. Okay, looking at this now, it seems the 2 that have been eliminated for somewhat legitimate or illegitimate reasons through sheer voting is Alan Wake 2 and Mina the Hollower. We're insane. So I'm going to delete those off. In sorting this from most voted for to least voted for, it goes Starfield, Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Pragmata, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Arc 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Skull and Bones, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now then, I think these top 2 are correct. However, we technically have a tie, a 5-way tie between Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Pragmata, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, does anyone dispute that Starfield shouldn't be first?
I believe I've made my position clear on this subject.
I think all of us voted for it, so obviously.
No, Bob, we did.
Aggro didn't.
That's why he's saying his stance is known, because he didn't vote for it.
I see.
Well, how do people feel about me eliminating the ones? And the ones in this case are Arc 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Skull and Bones, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Does anyone feel like they need to argue one of those up into...
I am going to argue Skull and Bones up, and here's why.
Okay.
Ubisoft doesn't decide when that game ships. PlayStation and Microsoft do.
Oh?
And if there's any game that's just going to fail cert over and over and over and over, it's going to be Skull and Bones.
I'll allow
Especially
it.
since Sony are, according to reports, hard asses now after Cyberpunk. And are like, no, you don't get special privileges with, our game sets your console on fire, but we'll fix it in the day one patch. They don't let you get away with that anymore.
Man, a thing happened and a console manufacturer tried harder to make sure I, the consumer, wasn't screwed. Has hell frozen over?
Right?
Well, it made them look bad. It was like if it had sold 10% of the copies, that wouldn't have happened. But it sold, 25 million.
I think we also need to argue up Tears of the Kingdom because it is a Zelda game, the most delayed franchise known to man.
Yeah, that game could be done, and Nintendo would be like, we want to launch it with the Switch too. It's going.
Okay. Is there anything else left below that people think should get reintroduced into the fray?
Nothing from me.
Yeah, keep looking down and think, but not more than the top of this list.
Yeah, I was like, most of those will also almost certainly be delayed, but
It's a category where everyone's a winner.
I genuinely believe they could delay Forza Motorsport out of this year.
yeah, absolutely.
But
They don't even have a name for it.
No, that is the name.
I know.
Because it's the Forever game. A really good choice for a franchise where they have to keep delisting the games because they won't license the cars for longer.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll leave Forza down there. Chris will prove me right. He's going to put guns in the game. No, he's going to put a Lancer, so you just drive up next to them and start sawing the car in half.
God, it'd be so cool if Forza Motorsport just became Road Rage.
That would be
Or
fucking...
Road Rash. Road Rash is what it was called.
Don't worry, I knew what you meant. That actually would be really great, and I think their core demographic is way too into Road Rash, at least on a spiritual level.
I feel like that's another spin-off one. It's like Horizon, but more violent.
That'd be awesome.
It would.
Okay, so our remaining nominees are Starfield, Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Pragmata, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Skull and Bones, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We get 3 votes each. We're going to start with Aggro.
Dead Island 2 is not real. Do your own research. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Don't reply to me with links to Wikipedia.
There's a lot of high value targets on this list. I think I'm going to vote for Zelda again.
Okay.
I believe in FromSoft this time.
Bob.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for Zelda this time. It's just too frequently happened.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, when you think about it, it has a 50% chance because it's either delayed or not delayed.
Or it won't.
This is a franchise that lands on tails a hell of a lot.
Okay. All right. The Switch happened to be coming out a few months after when they wanted to launch it on Wii U. It was just random chance.
Yeah, they just coincidentally landed up at the same place at the same time, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely didn't delay that game almost a year for certain. At least a year for certain.
My next one's Dead Island 2.
Okay, all right. I don't want to live in a world where Dead Island 2 is real and I can hold it in my hands.
Right. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, what if Microsoft just shipped Starfield because they have to, because they feel like they need to get something out because they've had nothing for years.
They have transparently never felt that even once.
That's true.
Like they didn't feel that at all for all of 2022.
Fair. Put the vote on Starfield.
Damn it. Damn that Chris Wolfhard. He's so persuasive.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything but just laugh derisively when someone's like, maybe Microsoft will begin caring. And like, we have 20 years of evidence that they won't.
It'd be pretty cool if they did, though. Right, guys? Hey, Chris, it's your turn to vote.
Starfield. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm swayed, Zelda.
Holy shit. What is happening? What is happening before my eyes?
My childhood trauma is driving an upset.
I forgot that they've done this so many times before.
Yeah, they just keep doing it.
I stand up for justice. Pragmata is not shipping this year. That shit is not happening. I'd love to be wrong on this, by the way. So if you point out I'm wrong, like in the future, you come back to this and you're like, haha, Dan was wrong. No, that's good. I would like Capcom to ship a game.
You're thinking of gamer premonitions where we're always right. This is a very different context.
Yes. I think there is a serious argument to be made that Starfield will just ship because whatever, it's good enough. Get it out. So with my one vote on Pragmata, I'm going to vote for Armored Core 6 because I think, FromSoft really cares about quality and they will absolutely delay that game to make sure it is as good of a chance as the Armored Core has ever had of succeeding in the United States of America. And I guess we're all being scaredy cat conservative fuckers here today, so I too will vote for The Legend of Zelda getting delayed.
Yeah. Take that, right-handed Link.
So at very least, it seems like we've decided that Zelda is the most likely. Let me gather up the others to figure out what the rest of this list shakes out to. Okay, so as I said a moment ago, The Legend of Zelda is in first place. The rest of the list is as follows. Starfield, 2 votes. Dead Island 2, 2 votes. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 2 votes. Armored Core 6, 1 vote. Pragmata, 1 vote. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, 0. And Skull and Bones, 0.
Banish them.
Goodbye. And that means we're really getting tight here. God, is this really going to happen? Yeah, I guess so. Hey, guys. Do we want to just lock in Zelda at number 1 because of history?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. People are like, guys, it won't 1 week after this airs. We're sorry to announce. And everyone's like, no, Big Think, why? Oh, man. Okay, so we're locking that in. What I'm going to say for the rest of this is that we get 2 votes across all of these. I'm going to vote first Armored Core 6 and Pragmata because I'm sane. Chris.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Starfield.
Bob.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Dead Island 2.
Yes.
I knew it.
God damn it. Aggro.
You're a good man, Bob Video Games. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Dead Island 2.
I fucking hate this. Okay, hear me out. Okay.
Yeah.
No one's voting for any of the shit I am, and that's fine. But let me make the argument that Dead Island 2 should be higher on this list than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I'm for that.
Because if it doesn't get delayed again, this one last time, a cosmic horror will be unleashed upon us. I think Dead Island 2 is more likely to get delayed than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Are you guys okay with sticking that in second?
I can live with that.
I would hope you voted for it.
I'm willing to go with Dead Island 2 because it getting delayed would be one of those things that I talk about often on our content where the thing that's so obvious it's somehow shocking.
It wraps back around. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in place. Then we're gonna read them, and then we need to decide on a single runner-up, unless we want a three-way split for runner-up. You know what? We'll leave it as that. That's pretty funny.
Okay, sure.
I mean, it is like they're all going to get the delay. Who are we kidding?
These three might even be more likely than the three that are in the top three. But anyway, the top three is currently The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in first place, Dead Island 2 in second, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in third. With the three-way tie runner-up special of Armored Core 6, Pragmata, and Starfield, the three that should have got the top three for certain.
And yet somehow my initial voting platform floated up to the top like turds.
We just opened up the category and everyone's like, time to bring up my childhood trauma. I think I can live with this list. I think it is fairly accurate. Is everyone else good?
Sure.
This looks good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's your big thing dimensions most likely to be delayed in 2023. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Dead Island 2, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, followed by Armored Core 6, Pragmata, and Starfield as runners-up.
Look, Pragmata is perfect, and they're going to just show us a completed game 2 weeks before it launches.
Yeah, and then we're going to cry because it will be so beautiful that to look upon it will do us grave injury.
Yes.
The next category is the PS2 Game Award. Parentheses, complimentary. Possibly. The nominees are Gungrave Gore, Harvestella, Kamiwa's Way of the Thief, parentheses, this might be cheating, parentheses, Solstice, Star Ocean, the Divine Force, and Valkyrie Elysium. Gentlemen, there aren't that many nominees. We're only getting 3 votes. I'll go first. Great Core is literally a PS2 game.
Yeah, it's no shit.
That shit is so fucking unbelievably a PS2 game that I look at Harvestella, I'm like, your environments are way too big.
Scale down.
You need to be like hallways to compete with Gungrave. Should we be allowing Kamiwas? It's literally a port of a PS2 game,
right? Yeah.
Dolly Parton enters Dolly Parton lookalike contest, gets third place.
Yeah, we take it off. I understand.
I'll take it off. I'm going to remove it from the vote. But my second vote is going to Valkyrie Elysium. Look at it. I don't know what else to tell you. Bob, do you have any words for that? I feel like you probably nominated it.
Yeah. There's just something about that knockoff cheap action game feel that you didn't get outside the PS2.
Yeah, and it has like the Chaos Legion hollowness.
Mm-hmm. Where every city is just empty.
But there's physics objects you can break.
And it's pretty cool.
And they make the game run bad.
Yes.
On PC, they only make the game run a little bad. With the power of the 4090.
God.
My last vote's going to go to Star Ocean because I'm still looking at 3D Star Ocean games and making the sound. And that started on the PS2, and it's a very strong tradition. Next, we're going to Bob.
I'm gonna have to show on Gungrave Gore. We went over this. That game that's just a PS2 game was higher fidelity art.
And ray tracing.
And ray tracing. God,
Ooh.
I forgot it had ray tracing. That's so insane.
It's really dumb.
I nominated Star Ocean here, and it was less how it's designed. Like, the design is way bigger than you expect from a PS2 game. But what I had to do to actually interface with this game was go to GameFAQs a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely that was something that was aggressively ironed out of the industry in 7th gen for sure, to our detriment.
So I'm going to nominate, or I'm going to vote for it here because there was so much time spent on game facts and random forum posts that have been, but like, here's an item list I have. It's not done.
That's when you know you're playing a real banger.
Yes.
I gave up and stopped writing this guide. Good luck. Bye.
But this time the game came out 3 months ago and not
In
15 years.
2002. Yeah.
And my last vote has to be for Valkyrie Elysium. We already talked about it. God. I want to vote for Solstice, but it's not is PS2 Game E. It has too much of that 7th gen brain rot. Where where like, oh, the colored enemies. You kill them with the colored powers.
Okay, we next go to Chris.
I think I can see how this category is going to go, and it upsets me, but Gungrave, G.O.R.E, Star Ocean, Valkyrie Elysium. I'm giving Star Ocean the vote because it's been since the PS2, basically, since I played a JRPG where I'm like, there's towns with houses that don't have anything in them. Like there's just an NPC and you talk to them. There's no treasure or objective in there. Everybody, the JRPG genre, like it turned to winter real fucking fast for the JRPG genre. It's like, do you need it to live? Then you don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, Aggro. How are you gonna vote?
Well, Valkyrie Elysium, which when it came out, I said looked like a PS3 game because it looked like a PS2 game with better textures.
That's that Ninja Gaiden energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gungrave G.O.R.E, because, I mean, look at it. And honestly, I'm going to go with Solstice on this one.
Okay. Well, this is very complicated to sort, and it'll take a bunch of time. Oh, it isn't? And it won't? That's shocking, actually. Who could believe such a thing? Currently tied for first place is Gungrave G.O.R.E and Valkyrie Elysium. In third place, currently based on voting, is Star Ocean: The Divine Force. And in fourth place is Solstice. Sorry, Harvestella. You were both too high tech and too low fidelity.
It was a DS game.
It's like the weirdest remaster of a DS game you've ever seen.
God, that's weirdly accurate.
Yes. They do that head tween anytime they look at something, and it's deeply unsettling.
And that weirdly energetic snap animation that every NPC has.
Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, I think our first order of affairs here is to figure out which one is more PS2 core. I submit that Gungrave is more PS2 core than Valkyrie Elysium.
See, I argue the opposite. Gungrave G.O.R.E has a modern shooter control scheme.
God fucking shit!
It has modern features like ray tracing.
I'm gonna punch a wall.
Valkyrie Elysium, if you just took it down to 480i.
I hate that he's right. I just imagine that in my brain, and I'm like, fuck. It's
like Gungrave G.O.R.E is how you remember a PS2 game. Valkyrie Elysium is a PS2 game.
Yeah, he's right.
God damn it.
It's frustrating, though.
I came in here so certain I was gonna fight up Gungrave G.O.R.E as like number one, but you're right. They changed the control scheme. They try to make it modern at all.
Yeah, they freaking put in modern features in those menus. What are they doing?
God damn it. They're ruining everything. They even have like selectable art style aesthetic, which that never would have happened during PS2. I feel like you wouldn't get a whole swap of like shader aesthetic.
No, of course not. That didn't exist. What are you swapping? Every single game model?
Right. What are you swapping? Every texture? Go fuck yourself. Jesus. Okay. Chris is right. Valkyrie Elysium absolutely should take first, Bob.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Not happy, though.
Can't Gungrave have anything? I wonder if they're making a PSVR 2 game.
Honestly, after looking at Gungrave Gore, it probably had more money than Valkyrie Elysium, which is insane to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is completely insane. Gungrave shouldn't have more money than a Valkyrie profile game.
They took a whole game's budget and crushed it down into a Gungrave game.
It probably also had more money than Stranger Paradise.
Probably. Gungrave also is filled with levels. Like, this is twice as long as the PS2 incarnation easily.
Yeah, to its
And
detriment.
it has like really
Yes.
high fidelity cutscenes sometimes. Well, not really high fidelity, but has very choreographed cutscenes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they look really fancy, and they have really, really bad dub voice actors. Okay, so that leaves a runner-up in third place, and we need to figure out which is which between Star Ocean, The Divine Force, and Solstice. We get one vote. We're going to see if this goes the same when all other distractions are removed. We're going to vote for Star Ocean. Bob?
Star Ocean.
Chris?
Star Ocean.
Okay. Aggro, would you like to make an impassioned speech to get Solstice?
No, because I didn't really play much Star Ocean, so I got.
Also, we probably should have put that on the 7th Gen Game Award, and we're all stupid.
What, Solstice or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because it
honestly-
literally has DMC. It has every bad 7th Gen action cliche.
I'll be honest, the 7th Gen Award isn't in this episode, and I assumed it was on both as a joke. You should go put it on that.
I mean, we already did that, didn't
And
we?
we already did it. We did it in the
Yeah.
first episode. It's over.
Oh no!
Yeah,
too late.
We messed up.
Oh no!
We were fools.
What?
It might have taken the whole thing.
My God. I can't believe the Solstice fan base will be this disappointed. I feel bad for all one of you. Well, that is the PS2 Game Award category. Valkyrie Elysium in first place for most PS2 game of 2022. Gungrave Gore in second place. Star Ocean The Divine Force in third place. And runner-up / should have been 7th Gen Game Award winner, Solstice. Next category, thing we most don't want on Big Think Dimension in 2023, sponsored by Microsoft Acquiring Things. The nominees are any notable game journalist or executive using the phrase woke FTC, any other Horizon projects, please don't announce a fifth,
We don't need more.
another platinum service game,
Ugh.
BioWare shipping any new game, Jim Ryan talking at all, honestly, a Keiji Unifune project. See, it's a project because it might not even be a game.
No.
He's pretty transmedia over there in hell. Some other Microsoft game is being made by an external studio. Are there any games left to...
Yeah, right? What's left before we're out?
I guess...
Um,
Was it that Avalanche game? Isn't there an Avalanche game being made?
that's already being made by Avalanche. Microsoft doesn't own them.
What if they bought them and then someone else had to come in and do it? That's now two different things we didn't want.
Forza Motorsport, I think, is still being made in-house. Maybe.
As far as I know. Gentlemen, we get 3 votes. We're going to start with Chris.
Woke FTC. That's just will create such a caustic radioactive nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
BioWare shipping a new game, because this is the last year I can put this. I think I put this in every one of these categories since we've started the podcast. This is the last time I can put it in, because if they ship a game after this year, it will have been long enough. I won't instantly be afraid.
That's fair. I get that.
Another platinum service game would be a nightmare. We hate Bayonetta 3's story, but at least we're like, hey, they remembered how to make a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Bob said multiple times that Bayonetta 3 is like one of the biggest leaps in action, like smartest upgrades in action gaming. And I agree with that. Like, there are a lot of really cool mechanical ideas. It's a shame about the rest of it. We go next to Aggro.
Yeah, woke FTC has to be the top of that list. This is an outcry from the heart. Oh my God, do not follow your brain spiders and throw in with that crowd to try and offsides the FTC. Holy shit.
It's funny because it could happen.
As Big Think Dimension's resident #1 Horizon fan, any other Horizon projects. You guys, can we talk for a minute? You are making me look like an idiot. Stop it.
What, aggro? You're not going to do your platinum stream playthrough of Horizon 1 Remake?
I am so mad that exists. I am furious that game exists.
Yeah, that is possibly one of the stupidest things to leak out of Sony in the last decade.
Dovetailing nicely into this topic. Jim Ryan.
Don't you
Oh
dare.
my God.
Not
I
even
want to hear
once.
3 words from you, Jim Ryan. Wait, what's that? And then the sound of a bus hitting you.
Powerful words from Dr. Aggro. I feel bad. This almost should have been removed from voting just because it's so obviously. Yeah, any notable game journalist or executive using the phrase woke FTC. It's funny because as of this recording, we just got word that Microsoft is maybe backpedaling a bit on some of the things they said about unconstitutional nature of the FTC and other things. So maybe that'll steer us away from the timeline where we have to endure someone from some game site saying that the FTC is woke. Some game site worth a shit. Do not write into the fucking Windows Central. No one cares.
That guy's clearly insane.
Yes. Let's see. Oh my God. I'm surrounded. Keiji Inafune project. Because it leaked that he's working on one.
No.
I'm desperately afraid that the true nightmare will come to pass where level 5 is so desperate they're like, make mighty number 10. Just do it.
Oh, if they do that, I might have to make the review. I don't want to do that. Plausible deniability goes out the window the moment they make a sequel and it's still not out. I'm under the firm belief that there are no more Microsoft games that get shipped to an external studio, so I'm not going to vote for that. I think that's completely impossible. While I am really good at ignoring Jim Ryan, I feel like I will still hear about it every time this man opens one of his 7 mouths and sings the song that ends the world. But at the same time, God, do I really want to hope beyond all expectation that Platinum doesn't make another live service game? Because they're gonna.
Right.
They're gonna.
I'm gonna hope that the actual people in charge of the money, like investors, that any investors they have are like tackling the CEO and like, no, do you not see what just happened?
But it'll be this different this time. I can do it.
Indeed. I'm tired of being disappointed in Platinum, and that's why I'm giving my vote to that. Even though I think this is inevitable like fucking Thanos. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
What do you want to vote for?
Woke FTC, of course.
Yeah, I should have removed that shit. It's just gold started immediately.
It's literally just poison.
And the worst part is we are in a timeline where I see that could happen.
Yeah, that could. Yeah. Like, these game journalists are already losing their minds over this. It's only one step farther than they've already gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of game journalists. Like, obviously, there's a lot of game journalists who are ostensibly, progressive. But there's also a lot of ones who like turn into libertarians whenever things like this happen. Mm-hmm. So I could easily see one of them like letting the mask fall too far off, and we see the melt underneath.
My next vote will be for any other Horizon projects. Please, Sony. Please stop. I want to have faith in you making new games.
Yeah.
And I have to put it on the Platinum Service game. I don't want it. I don't want it so hard that I will come up for this no matter what.
Understandable. Well, let me get that tallied real quick and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so obviously, any notable game journalist or executive using the phrase woke FTC won. I think it would be absurd to argue that down.
Yeah.
Truly is the worst timeline out of all these. Currently, by votes, another Platinum Service game is second place. Any other Horizon projects is third. And then we have a three-way tie for runner-up between BioWare shipping any new game, Jim Ryan talking it all honestly, and Keiji Inafune project. Now, I'm pretty okay with the order of the top three. How do other people feel?
I agree with that.
I agree. I really want BioWare to be allowed to make a full game that is successful, but another Horizon project would upset me more.
Aggro, what are your thoughts? Should Horizon be higher than Platinum Service game?
I could go for flipping those two, but that's because I don't really have a stake in Platinum games. I don't really care about them. So every time they do some shit like that, it's funny to me.
Look, man, I've never even met your alcoholic uncle. I don't give a fuck. I just want him to get better, Aggro. Yeah, and I don't want to look like an asshole. Yeah, I think the Platinum shit is like, it's such a long arc with Big Think. This just, they were doing so good for a while. They were really amazing early on. Nier felt like such a high peak, and it's just been up and down since then. Sometimes even within one game. So I guess this is what we got to do now. We got to settle the runners up. 1 vote each. Thank God there are 3, not 4. The nominees for runner-up are BioWare shipping any new game, Jim Ryan talking it all honestly, and Keiji Inafune project. I'll vote first. Keiji Inafune project. Chris.
BioWare, because honestly, a new Keiji Inafune product would be really funny.
Look at his NFTs. They look like combo, man. Very funny. I clap.
I'd be there day 1 for Mighty Number 10. I'm a rube. Oh, this is gonna suck so hard. It's gonna rule.
He says this as though I won't also, but I'll be angry.
I know.
I'll be hideously angry the whole time. Hey, Aggro.
Upon further reflection, Jim Ryan talking it all could include his resignation and a heartfelt apology. So I'm going to vote for Keiji Inafune project because even reading that sentence out loud made me so goddamn tired.
Bob.
I'm going to vote for Jim Ryan because, oh man, he needs to stop. He just needs to be stopped.
But Bob, how can he resign if he can't speak?
He has to resign without saying a word.
Just get up and walk the fuck out.
A letter isn't spoken.
Yes.
He does a backflip off of the stage and lands on his neck.
It is not obvious what move he was trying to do.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, the voting seems to indicate that Keiji Inafune project should be the runner-up. Do you guys want to make any impassioned arguments for what you voted for?
Nah, I actually think that mine is pretty unlikely anyway, so.
Yeah, BioWare shipping any new games is, it's kind of up there with Microsoft somehow finding another game to outsource.
Yeah, I guess with Jim Ryan, it's like, well, even if he doesn't say anything, he's still having some negative effect.
There are a lot of things Jim Ryan could say that could make me happy. I've been fired. I'm dead, actually. I'm a ghost.
I had a religious awakening, and now I have to leave to become an ascetic monk.
I read a book that radicalized me, and I'm now on my way to shoot J.K. Rowling. There are a lot of things you can say I think were very funny or possibly for the betterment of mankind. They aren't very likely.
But Keiji Inafune making a game that anyone actually wants to play genuinely.
I think there's a high probability that a Mighty Number 10 is would be way better than whatever we're going to get.
Yeah,
It has name recognition. Make that instead of a new thing.
I wish Keiji Inafune sounded like George Lucas.
Well, it's like, Avi's a funnier character than we've ever had before. We just have to get him working.
Did you put in the Gamergate joke? Okay, that's. I think people are gonna love him. They're gonna love him. They're gonna love him.
See, it upsets me to compare Keiji Inafune to George Lucas because I'm George Lucas' strongest soldier.
And you're a million times more respectable than any of Keiji Inafune's soldiers. Well, gentlemen, that seems to make our category for thing we don't want on Big Thing Dimension in 2023, sponsored by Microsoft acquiring things. Any notable game journalist or executive using the phrase woke FTC, another platinum service game, any other Horizon projects, and with the runner-up, Keiji Unifune project. God,
Such darkness.
Yeah, this is terrible. We got to go positive from here. One moment. What's the positive category? Oh, I know. Next category, most mind-numbing bark. The candidates are... Oh, well, I actually don't know who says these specific callouts in God of War, Bob. Do you know who?
The first one is the head on your belt.
It's Mimir.
Yeah, Mimir. And the other one
No,
is...
the first
No,
one
the first
is
one's the boy.
Oh, sorry. I had those backwards.
Okay. First one's Atreus, and the second one's Mimir?
yeah.
Okay. You're on fire, but you probably already knew that, and I can't read the sentence.
Jeez,
Right?
jeez,
I
Kratos.
can't read the sentence without hearing it in that voice.
How he basically says it.
And, you know, I've played 16 or so hours of this game, and I have not been on fire to hear that yet.
Yeah, it hit me a completely random time I would not have expected. I started hearing it nonstop after that.
Like the game just snapped. You're on fire, Kratos. It'll pass. I just keep getting better and better. All right, yeah. He says that every time you nail a run in Neon White.
Yes, he
I
does.
just keep getting better and better.
Yep. And so you hear it like 150 times.
I don't know. There's something sweet about hearing a man in his late 40s at youngest say that. Sweet?
Sweet.
Is that the main character?
Main character says that every time he picks up an item of any kind.
Cool. From Star Ocean, The Divine Force. Yippee! From Xenoblade 3. Man, there's a lot of Xenoblade 3. 1 second.
How'd that happen?
I'm the go with the gall from Xenoblade 3, and that's a red dude all right there from Xenoblade 3. Oh, and also, hear that, Noah? Lance wants something a bit meatier from Xenoblade 3 and from God of War Ragnarok. Enemy on your left. Also, enemy left flank. And also, enemy behind you. Yeah, no, the directional enemy call outs just... I'm like staring at the dude. He's on your left. I'm like, yeah, by like 4 degrees. I can see him, dude. We're good.
Yeah, the behind ones help sometimes, but the other ones, no.
Aggro, you've avoided Xeno brain damage.
I have. Except I've been on these calls for hours while you chuckle fucks just quote this shit over and over again.
You hear that, Bob? Aggro wishes he was dead. I'm gonna go ahead and give us 3 votes. Yeah, Xenoblade. I'm gonna say on a conservative estimate, you hear the yippee and of the girl with the gall at least 30 times each. At least. That feels like a low estimate.
That's an incredibly low estimate.
Yippee, I hear twice every boss fight. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the girl with the gall, I feel like I've heard that over 150 times easily.
Yeah, because it's like on the world map.
Yes.
You beat a fucking enemy. And it's just like, okay, we've exited combat. Say the line, Senna. Oh, man. I'm going to let Bob vote first.
I'm going to go with Yippee.
No way.
Hear that, Noah? Lance wants something a bit meatier. And, oh, man. Sweet.
Oh, my God. One moment. Is there any way I can find this sweet sound from Star Ocean?
I don't know.
New requirement for this category next year. You have to bring in the clip.
The clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to take right now to give an honorable mention to another Xenoblade 3 thing, which is when you are in Senna's Soul Link skill tree, and you unlock any of the nodes. She says, "Whoa, new power!" But because of the way that works, you unlock like 15 at a time.
Yeah.
So you hear that 15 times in a row.
Yeah, I feel like hers and Lanza's are the strongest in that screen. Because Lance is just like really going for it. He's like, I'm getting stronger. It's like, what the fuck is he? Calm down, dude. I will let Chris vote next.
Yippee.
No way.
Oh, geez, you're on fire, but you probably already knew that.
This is terrible.
And finally, I'm the girl with the gall.
He keeps singing this horrible edit of Senna next to a seagull.
Was that on Twitter?
It was on a Reddit forum I randomly found.
That's good.
See, you need to have her in Gaul, the region of Western Europe that the Romans invaded.
I'm gonna go with Yippee. Obviously, I'm gonna go with I'm the girl with the gall. And oh God, this is hard between these two. One moment, I need a second. I think the exact phrase is "That's a rare doodah right ear," like right here. Let me check.
Oh, got a rare doodah right here.
Oh, that's not even close to right. Put this in here. They're fired.
Hey, that's the thing for the stuff.
Holy shit, 1 second. I need to put this clip in there so these two fucking assholes have to hear what we just heard. There you go. Click that. Fucking instead of knocking it out of the park. Part of being most mind numbing is that part of it makes your brain feel like it's flatlining. And the got a red doodah right here is like kind of delightful. But hear that, Noah? Lads want something a bit meatier. Really makes my brain wish for death.
At least that's a rare doodah. At least that has a purpose of telling you got a rare pickup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it only happens when you get the purple ones.
Yeah. Meanwhile, yeah, that guy wants to fight strong stuff. Thank you. I am working my way through the JRPG. It will come eventually. So those are my 3 votes. Aggro, you have the floor.
So I'm going to vote for Freya shouting enemy on your left in God of War Ragnarok. Specifically because the way she delivers this line, it takes so long to finish.
Every
Like,
time.
I'm in the middle of combat. I am currently turning the camera. So by the time you finish saying that, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, that's been my
Also,
experience every time.
Left. That's 180 degrees of shit, lady. Second vote is going to go to Lance wanting something a bit meatier. Because I have had to sit here and listen to you bastards spread that line like a contagion into my brain.
They announced Xenoblade 4 live on the stream as we're watching the announcement. Aggro just does himself in. I'm not going through that again.
And interestingly, I'm going to give my last vote to Mimir saying, "You're on fire, Kratos. It'll pass." Because for some reason, that bark in that game was the one that was always the most borked. Like it came out at the wrong time, or it got run over by something else, or it started in the middle.
I gotta ask, is the whole line said by Mimir, or is the "it'll pass" said by Kratos?
No, it's all said by Mimir.
Really?
It's a weird delivery because he's on his belt, so he is also currently on fire.
Yes.
It's like, "You're on fire, Kratos. It'll pass." Like that's a very stoic approach, Mimir.
I kind of enjoyed that about it.
Yeah, it was better than Morty suddenly replacing Atreus.
Yes.
Damn it. I I ran into the version where it's for frost, and he's like, I got frost in my stump. And I'm just like, oh, ew, I didn't need to know. Oh, I get by frost magic. Okay, yeah, thank you, buddy. Why is my Mimir fucking Shrek? I got frost in my stump.
Help.
Mike Myers is Senna in
No.
Pentaveret.
Uh,
Sorry, I know that word's not okay to say around here. I apologize.
Yeah, it sure fucking is.
I apologize to you and the listeners.
I can't wait to see Senna's floppy old dick.
Well, I'm
Mobius D going, but her emails.
So, I've sorted these by the amount of votes they have. Currently, the top two are Yippee and Hear That, Noah? Lance wants something a bit meatier. Followed up by I'm the girl with the gall. And you're on fire. But you probably already knew that. Ah, geez, Rick. You're on fire, Kratos. It'll pass. And sweet and enemy on your left. This is gonna get really hard, really fast. Because the top two are tied, which is hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a 4-way tie at the bottom. Okay. So, we're tied on Yippee, and Hear That, Noah Lance wants something a bit meatier. I think Yippie's the most powerful sound in the universe.
The problem is it's so positive. I always want to hear more Yippee. I never want to hear about Lands wanting something meteor again.
That's, yeah.
That is a genuine argument for most mind-numbing bark. Like, you genuinely believe Noah would just become a weird, despondent, fucking angry man as he has to hear this 50 fucking times? Yeah, he wants something a bit. It's a little bit meatier, yeah. That's what he said an hour ago and 15 minutes ago. Noah played by Jack Nicholson as he goes insane.
Great.
God, that is a strong argument. Maybe we should focus on the rest of this for now because it's easier. I think the girl with the gall definitely deserves third. But of course, I'm biased. I voted for it. How do Bob and Aggro feel about that, seeing as how they did not vote for it?
That's another one that gives me a lot of positive feelings. I like that. I don't know if it belongs in this segment.
Oh, really?
I think something can be delightful and still mind numbing.
Yeah, I think
I think if it gives you a fucking brain disease like it's given all of us.
Yeah, I've looked this line up and I'm digging this delivery.
Yeah, she nails it.
She does.
Senna's actress is gold. It's funny because she's like the only not British person in that cast, I'm pretty sure.
I think I ran into one other maybe.
Yeah,
but they were like a one-off character who walked out of the frame and was gone forever.
And walked out of your life. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I ran into that character too, but I can't remember who it was. I was like, oh, hey, you're okay, bye. Okay, so I say we leave that there. We need to fix runner-up though. Here's what we're gonna do. We have a 4-way tie. We have 1 vote each. Trust me, it'll work out. You have to trust me, though. Hey, Aggro. Out of You're on Fire, but you probably already knew that. You're on Fire, Kratos, it'll pass. So we, an enemy on your left.
I'm going to stick with the enemy on your left. Just as frequent, way more useless.
I am also going to go with enemy on your left. Because every time they say it, it's fucking useless. And every time I just get angry. Because I'm like, on the occasion where I am able to turn the camera fast enough to see this enemy that you have called out woefully late, it feels unhelpful. But most of the time, you don't even get that. Usually get enemy, wham, on your left. Bob.
Yeah, that's pretty compelling. I kind of like the it'll pass Kratos one. So Yeah, enemy on your left is really bad. I'll go ahead and throw my vote in. Sure.
Hey, Chris.
I'm gonna vote for Morty Atreus because it's just I can't hear it any other way. It is unusual in its like compared to everything else in the game. The game is largely not filled with dialogue like that.
Yeah, I know, which is why I'm literally having trouble imagining it in a voice other than fucking Morty.
Thanks, Anthony Birch. I know you wrote that one.
I knew that was you, birds. Chris in this scene is played by Muscle Man. You know who can write a video game better than you? My mom. Mama! Okay. So we seem pretty split on Yippee and Hear That, Noah. And I get that. I voted for both.
Uh-huh.
Both are extremely powerful. Fuck Xenoblade for dominating this category.
For being the reason this category exists.
That's true. It is.
It is.
Right.
Absolutely. Not every year's going to have a Xenoblade game. It'll be interesting from this point on whether or not each year has a most mind-numbing part category.
The horror that is, no, every year going forward has a Xenoblade game.
Ooh. Looking forward to that remastered Xenoblade X next year and that sequel to Xenoblade X the year after. This is complicated. I think we leave Girl with the Gall in third. It is incredibly strong, and I think there's an argument to be made. It should be in first or second, but I'm okay with it being in third. What's up, Bob?
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Like, it doesn't... Like, Yippee is so powerful. Maybe it deserves a number one spot.
Yippee is the last sound the universe will hear before it collapses into oblivion.
And right after that little when the universe ends, faintly, like a whisper from far away. Hear that, Noah? Lance wants something a bit meatier.
Because technically, striving to survive is a battle and it just ended.
We need a meatier universe, is clearly the message.
If only the
lesson.
universe was a bit meatier. It's really fucked up that this category had so many good Xenoblade quotes that rare do G.O.R.E, yeah, didn't survive. It's fucked up.
When Senna has too many quotes, it's hard.
I know. You know what? Maybe I don't know how Chris feels, but Chris, I think there's an argument. I think they might be valid in that Yippee is too positive, almost.
No. You know what makes Yippee extra mind-numbing? That is the only one of those chain action things you can clearly make out.
Yeah, fucking Tyon's rambling about his stupid fucking plan.
Yeah, it's hard to make out even after I adjusted the audio so I could hear it more clearly.
And you hear it so many times, and it's just this blaring mass of animations and the chain attack theme, because it has its own song, and you just hear, yippee! At least, like, by end game, like, twice each time. Mm-hmm. 3 times if you get her Ouroboros action, because she does it if you use hers.
Yeah,
and you always go for that because she says yippee, so of course you hear it more than once.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm perfectly willing to throw in with Yippee being at the top because, I mean, too much of anything good rots your teeth.
Yippee is the most powerful sound. That is the sound of the year, I think.
I think that we can agree on that.
I think as such, it kind of takes this category. I think this is a pretty good lineup. I think we do Yippee in first. Hear That, Noah. Lance wants something a bit meatier. And I'm the go with the gall as our top 3. This category should be interesting to listen to just from an angle of Dan saying the funny lines from the game. I clap.
Yes.
An enemy on your left is
stunned
truly
if
fucking absurd. What's up?
I'm gonna be stunned if Senna somehow does not sweep Scrunko of the year.
Yeah, the Scribbler of the Year category is absolutely just going to be terrorized by her.
There's lots of strong competition, but yeah, it's dangerous down there.
It's a fucking demon pit. Okay, I think I'm gonna lock it in. Most mind-numbing bark for 2022 is Yippee! Followed by Hear That, Noah? Lance wants something a bit meatier. And on the go with the goal. Runner up, enemy on your left. Which that delivery, that pace is accurate. It takes that long to say on your left, and I swear to God, I got smacked in the back of the head so many times before she said left.
Yeah, that was rough. I honestly had forgotten how insanely bad that got.
They are so amazing with how much money they have to make these games. I don't know how they get this far and ship with that in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. But there you go. That's your most mind-numbing bark category. Let's move on to worst named thing. The nominees are Sneasler from Pokemon Legends Arceus, Dunsparce for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Seaslight from Harvestella, Triangle Strategy, the game, and Various Day Life, the game. I'm going to say we get 2 votes. Let's chop this category down. We're starting with aggro.
I'm going to vote for Dunsparce because the first time somebody threw one out, I thought it was a glitch.
No, that's what makes it brilliant.
Yes, this is actually genius, Aggro. Don't you get it?
I looked at the Pokemon and went, okay, that's a Dunsparce, and looked over at the nameplate and went, this is data corruption.
Yeah, but aggro, if they give it a 3rd evolution, they can call it dun sparse.
I figured we'd be dun sparse. Anyway. I'll be here all week. Second vote is going to go to Triangle Strategy. Somebody needs to take that font away from those people because they believe that any bullshit they write in it looks brilliant.
Yeah. I'll go next. I might be sold to change my vote. What the fuck is the Sneasler? I still, as of this recording, have not played it.
The Sneasler is the evolution of Sneasel.
Wait, they called it the Sneasler?
Yeah, they just call it Sneasler.
Yes.
Second.
Can't wait for the sneeze less.
It just gets bigger.
Are you fucking?
It gets really long.
What the fuck is this? Oh my god!
Instead of evolving into Weavile, Sneasel evolves into Sneasler.
It's a fucking one-slur ass motherfucker. What is this name? I have some serious thinking to do. Maybe I won't go next, Bob.
Triangle Strategy.
That is some strong Dougler energy.
Yeah, he's the Dougler.
Oh.
The Sneasler. Okay, Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, Triangle Strategy. What an awful name. What a completely terrible name. They should feel bad. They should really feel bad that they even put it out without giving it a real name. You're not allowed to renounce a project name and then not change it at all.
Yeah, that should be the new rule.
And then my other vote goes to Various Day Life.
Oh, that's stupid. No, that's a great name.
That name is awful.
It makes perfect sense.
That's great. I'm sorry.
See, nightlife is what people do when they have night lives.
Uh-huh.
So day life would be the opposite of that. It's normal jobs and being a normal person. See, they couldn't call it medicated personhood, so they called it Various Day Life.
It's too close to daylight and it sounds weird.
Well, nightlight is also a word.
Yes.
Your point.
Hey, Chris, what are you voting for?
Sneasler.
I fucking absolutely.
And Triangle Strategy.
Sneasler, just like that other category where we should have discounted one of
Sneasel
them.
me this.
No. I'm voting for Triangle Strategy because just listen to that name. I don't care that you're choosing between 3 diametrically, allegedly, opposed strategies. I don't care. It's a terrible name. It's horrible. That is not a good name at all. It is nowhere near as good as Various Day Life, which is a great name in comparison.
I mean, it does not take much to be a great name compared to Triangle Strategy. One of the worst names things of the year.
Like of those font games, Various Day Life is just regular Japanese English word soup.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot closer to Bravely Default than it is to Triangle Strategy.
Yes. My next vote is Seas Light. Seas Light is a terrible name for that thing in Harvestella. I do not think that's I do not.
It's a light, and it looks like it's from the seas.
It's a terrible name. They should have come up for a different name for the phenomenon appearance thing. They should have called this strange artifice or whatever it may be anything else, because Seas Light just feels awful to say. I don't know. I hate it a bunch. I hate it more than any of the other things, most of which I think they're good, but Sneasler might have stolen the vote.
Wait.
Seas Light, honestly, I remember feeling similarly about how weird that word was. You super just get used to it after a while.
I mean, it's one of those things where they never have to actually say it because they didn't dub it in any language.
See, that's the thing. I'm worried I'll beat the game and then one of them will say it over the credits. Because that'll be the first time that character's voiced, Bob. The fucking credits. By the way, Bob, now that you've beaten Xenoblade, how did you appreciate the credit sequence totally giving you a tutorial on how to watch the credits?
Yeah, that absolutely happened. I couldn't believe it.
I think that game totally does.
So we seem to have hit the perfect split.
Yeah, it's a little rough. It's a little rough. We're gonna have to start getting political. I think that's the only way this breaks. Because obviously, Triangle Strategy takes it.
Yeah, that's just,
of course.
Foregone conclusion. That studio will release a game every other year. It'll be the worst named thing you've ever heard.
Two votes again?
Yeah, I think we need to do 2 votes again. For people not following along, we have a 4-way tie between Sneasler, the Dunsparce, Seas Light, and Various Daylife. We're now going to get 2 votes each to see if we can break this 1 vote each tie. Here we go. Aggro.
2 votes, huh?
Yeah.
Well, my first vote is going to go to Dunsparce, a name that is such a joke, it's an actual onomatopoeia. Dunsparce.
That what makes it so good, though, Aggro.
God, it's just, it's such clock out at 4 bullshit.
No, the best part, Aggro, is Dunsparce adds a segment to itself, and it gets called the Dunsparce.
It's just,
that
God.
may have been the hardest I laughed during that entire game.
If I had brought that shit into Armchair Devs, you would have called me a cuck and told me to try again.
I didn't realize that things were so high stakes in Armchair Devs.
Yeah, don't you remember? I opened that one Armchair Devs by saying the FTC was woke.
As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to have to go for Seas Light.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Bob.
I'm going to vote for Various Daylife again. Even if I'm alone, I will still do it.
Hey, at least you're consistent.
I haven't played Harvestella, so I don't know how absurd Seas Light gets.
So it doesn't have anything to do with the sea, and it's not necessarily a light.
Wait,
It lights up.
It lights up, but that's not. Neither of these are good words to describe it.
It's actually because it has to do with the seasons.
Yes.
that really gets me against it, honestly.
Yeah, I probably should have clarified that they were each tied into a different season.
So it's like Seasons Light.
Yeah.
That's terrible, isn't it?
We don't call it Blaz Blue here. Blaz or whatever they do in Japan for Blaze Blue.
Braybu.
Braybu.
Because it sounds like brave.
Jeez.
Yeah, like this is clearly a Japanese thing
Weird
that they just
portmanteau that you wouldn't do as an English speaker.
Okay.
Now, Bob, but before you vote for this, I want to be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I did just now put that together.
See, I was sitting here like, I don't know, it's probably like a jellyfish that emits light. That's not that weird a name.
right.
But now that you explained it, I'm like, oh no, send them to hell.
Let me clarify even further. Only one of them's in the ocean. Which, since I did it out of order, I was like, oh, the first one was in the mountains. That's weird. Well, I went out to the ocean for the next one. At least the Seas Light is finally in the sea. And then I did the other 2, and I'm like, okay, I'm just fucking lost.
Yeah, I'm voting for Seas Light now.
Yeah. That's understandable, Chris.
Seize Light. And Sneasler.
If they fuse to form the sneeze light, all of humanity would end.
I think that's just most lights.
Yeah, if you have that one thing with your brain where you look at bright lights and it makes you sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's called being normal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, everybody doesn't have that.
Not everybody does, but
not everybody does, but a dominant number of people do. But not everyone does that.
Okay, so it's called being normal, like being right-handed.
Seize light. Fucking obviously. And if I'm going to vote for any of these, I have to vote for Sneasler. Listen to that name.
Damn it.
Feel it unfurl from your mouth. Hey.
And I really like that Pokemon's design, but it's like, no, I really like the Sneasler. Thanks for making me seem like an idiot.
I think it's kind of delightful.
Sneasler. That's just regular Pokemon shit.
But the Dunsparce isn't.
No, that's a bridge over the River Kwai too far.
I'm just sitting here like, yeah, both of those are immaculate names.
The Dunsparce. Get the fuck out of here.
The Dunsparce made me laugh so hard I stopped breathing. Like I was like, there's no way it just said he was throwing out Dunsparce. That's not a fucking Pokemon. And then I hit A, and he throws out the giantest motherfucker I've ever seen.
It looks like a 4chan shit post. That is some long cat.
Yes, it really does. Okay, guys. Apparently we have some sort of Seize Light sweep. Which means currently we're looking at it being in second place, Sneasler in third place, and the Dunsparce and Various Daylight as runners up. I'm willing to hear arguments to make anything go up or go down. You know, perhaps recent revelations make people want to vote Seize Light into first place.
No, I'm sorry. It can't be
No, it's
triangle
not going to
strategy.
climb that mountain.
No, that doesn't happen.
That's fine. I imagine even if I played 40 hours of Triangle Strategy, that name would never be acceptable to my brain. That name would just always sit there as, they should have come up with a real name for this. Just like, you know, I played fucking 20 hours of Harvest Hill, and at no point did I think, yeah, they should have sold this for $60. You get these thorns, these splinters in your brain over critical missteps made making a game. So currently third place is Sneasler. I think this is correct. Chris and I agree that of these three options here, it is easily the worst sounding.
Yeah, if I have to vote for one Pokemon, it'll be Sneasler.
But Various Daylights right there, Bob, and you seem pretty committed.
Oh yeah, no, that's awful.
Various Daylight at least has any poetry to it compared to Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, no, that's literally a car breaking down as a name. You hear the gift shifting and it's breaking inside.
God, it sucks so bad that studio obviously thinks this is like one of their like notable traits.
Uh-huh. This is their calling card.
Well, we don't make names. That's a core part of our corporate identity. We don't try.
No, it's minimalist and functional. we are the Apple of naming RPGs.
So is this also Acquire? I just need to know.
I don't,
because they did Octopath.
I don't think it's Acquire. I think someone else made Triangle Strategy.
I think that's all the same. Okay, it is Art Dink.
There we go.
So what's their fucking excuse? They don't have one.
Maybe it's someone at Square Enix who's just unhinged.
Yeah, there's some producers like, I have enough power to not name things.
I have enough power to not get fired, no matter how stupid these names are.
Okay, it was the producer was the producer of Bravely Default.
There we go.
So so that's the criminal. Tomoya Asano.
Get him, girls! Yeah, I sure am seeing a picture of a man who's naming these things, and I don't like it. Okay. So obviously, worst named thing of 2022 is Triangle Strategy. Second place goes to Seize Light. Third place is Sneasler, evidently, but then we have a tie on the runner-up. Now, obviously, I don't think any of us are going to change our place on these three. Sneasler, to Dunsparce, or Various Daylight.
Mm-hmm.
So since Chris and I both voted for Sneasler, we should leave that in third place. And then we should help you two figure out which is worse between Dunsparce and Various Day Life.
And Bob and I seem to be diametrically opposed on how dumb Dunsparce is, because you had Sparse in the name, so if you're just going to make the same Pokemon but more of it, that's the part you change, like Dun Plentiful or some shit like that.
Look, they defied expectations, though, Aggro. It just added another duh.
Now, see, our beat's completely different. It goes dun 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 Sparse.
I gotta vote for Various Day Life because this criminal needs to be sent a message.
Oh my god, is that also his fault?
It almost has to be.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
No, it is. I'm looking at it right now. But Various Day Life was actually a mobile game from 2 years ago.
God damn
That he
it,
was
it's all
producer
him.
of.
It's all him, and it always has been.
I feel like a fucking Kafka character. Why can no one else see how horrible this is?
Yeah, he was normal until Bravely Default, and then his mind shattered.
Aggro's just slowly turning into a bug. I'm sorry, Aggro, just to send the message, I'm gonna have to vote against Various Day Life, a game I enjoy very much the name of. Because the important thing is that he stops doing this exact thing. Triangle strategy is literally the worst it's ever been.
That really is. I fell over and dropped 2 words. I guess I'm launching.
Chris, I assume you're joining us on Various Day Life.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Aggro. I love the Dunsparce. Maybe someday you'll learn to love the Dunsparce too. Maybe when you
my revenge on Dunsparce.
you fucking hack the game to make him Dun Plentiful.
Why would I keep the extra Dun?
Because he has an extra segment, Aggro. We've been over this.
This guy doesn't fucking understand Pokemon at all. Oh my god.
I can't wait to get Abra.
Ababra. Still psychic, just sings disco.
Hell yes. Well, gentlemen, it seems like we have it locked in with Triangle Strategy being the worst named thing of 2022, Seaslight being the second worst named thing of 2022, Sneasler being the third worst named thing, and Various Day Life being a runner-up. Does that seem right to everyone?
That seems great.
Okay.
Categorically does not.
Sorry, can't hear you. I'm the vocal majority. Goodbye. We're moving on now. Next category, budget dimension of the year. The nominees are Babylon's Fall. That's a budget paradigm of the year. Bayonetta 3, Crypts from Elden Ring, cyberspace levels from Sonic Frontiers, Pokemon Legends Arceus. No clarification. The whole game. Soul Hackers 2, same. Solstice, same. Valkyrie Elysium, same. These are some pretty budget dimensions here. How many nominees is that? Is it 8 nominees? I'm going to give us 4 votes. Let's start with Bob.
My first vote's going to the Crypts in Elden Ring.
What's the deal with Cribs? I'm a baby and don't play the Dark Souls. Forget the
There's
16 hours or whatever I played Elden Ring.
there's a lot of crypts. They look exactly the same, have the exact same enemies in them, and often have the same layout.
Yeah, they use literal, like, gigantic chunks of them and attach them in different ways. And this applies to crypts, mines, and I think one other kind of thing is the person who basically went for these because the rewards were pretty much guaranteed to be something nice. I sucked these out really hardcore. It burnt me out in the game a lot because they're so repetitive, and I almost never saw anything interesting in them because of it.
I'm prematurely throwing in a vote for this because you've described hell.
It's like, this will give you the best items in the game. It's also the worst content.
What if we sucked all artistic value out of Dark Souls? And I'm like, oh, that's the only part of Demon Souls I appreciated. And they're jigsaw pieces and they go together. And is this the area that also has the wall if you hit it 1,000 times?
One of them has that, yeah.
Fuck off. God.
Yeah, because I guess they're the two flavors of this. The one's the crypt and the other's the mine. And they're the exact same thing with very slight palette swaps. My next vote's going to Solstice. That entire game is an ice castle. It never stopped being an ice castle, and I don't know why, and I had to quit the game.
Well, what's budget about a nice castle?
It's all the same looking ice castle.
Wait. Is it a nice castle or an ice castle?
It is a castle filled with ice.
Oh!
Okay, Dan.
Uh-huh.
You know that mission in DMC4 where you use like the spinning top things?
Don't bring up my childhood trauma. Don't forget.
Imagine that one of those hallways in that mission, the side hallways. Just imagine if the whole game was exactly that hallway.
That's
forever.
fucked up. How dare you say that to me?
Except less interesting looking. That's Solstice.
God.
Yeah, it never stops. There's a little bit at the beginning where it's not that. You're coming in like a pier, and then it's that for the rest of the game.
That's really dire. Wow.
Oh, 2 more votes.
Yep.
Can I sell Soul Hackers? I need to sell Soul Hackers.
Funny
I
thing
put an image in the Discord.
Wait, is it just all the time?
That is 60% of the game.
It looks kind of nice.
I'm sure.
Will it look nice when there's 20 floors of it?
No, because honestly, I say that and I'm like, that looks like a bad version of the Astral Chain's budget dimension.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm sure it has a great personality.
Is it ever not flat? I need to know that.
No, it's always flat. Like sometimes there's stairs that'll take you up or down to a different level, but it's almost entirely flat.
It gets a vote.
I'm wondering how Soul Hackers didn't end up on the PS2 game category, because this is literally a PS2 system menu.
Man, we're fucking hacks.
And my last vote's going to be for Pokemon Arceus, because, as I've said many times on this channel, they made those maps in Vista Pro. They exported them.
Yeah, they really do like have no landmarks, no anything. They're like test environments.
Yeah, it feels like something just auto-generated, and they're like, put it in the game, we're done.
You know, in the future, you're going to be able to make an AI make the whole video game. Game Freak's doing it right now. They fucking generated a Dunsparce, but it was bigger, and you named it the Dunsparce. Funniest goddamn game I've ever played. I'm gonna go next. Babylon's Fall. That game is fundamentally designed to be a budget dimension. It aesthetically looks like a budget dimension. Even the surroundings of the hometown is budget dimension. It is so budget, and yet it was still over budget,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's getting shut down.
It can't be that budget, they had to close it down.
Checkmate. Soul Hackers 2 might be a pretty good time. You might really enjoy it. This is no comment on that. That game's budget as hell. We played like a bit of that on stream, and like they're just trying to have important story moments in the most budget looking. This is the Boston Harbor. Like
I got it off
setting.
the Unity store. Is that okay?
It looked like a slightly upgraded PS2 environment. It was really crazy how lo-fi that was for a game kind of aimed at like PS5 and stuff, you know? Kind of crazy how budget that is. Aside from that, I'm really struggling. Bayonetta 3 was put onto this list. I'm interested in hearing the argument for that.
There's just a lot of Bayonetta 3 that is platforms in a big void, and they even introduced that plot element of the singularity gas, which will cover everything and make it white, and you can't touch the singularity gas or you die. Which feels very much like get the fucking geometry out of view so the Switch does not have to fucking run it.
I see. It's a graphics budget dimension.
That was my logic. I don't need anybody to vote for it, but we can't have a budget dimension category and I not bring up the game that is largely platforms in a void.
Absolutely, I get it.
Even if they have more context than Astral Chain.
Yeah, I was thinking how the in-between universes, that definitely feels like an Astral Chain like budget dimension, but those are so short that it didn't bug me.
Yeah, those are so short.
Based on that description alone, I'm gonna have to vote for Solstice. That sounded awful.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
And every time I looked over, something on screen reminded me of Lords of Shadow's worst elements.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that energy.
I mean, you used the thing that was equivalent to the Dark Crystal.
I did.
I watched that a lot. And I'm just like, look at him go. Someone's making this mistake 14 years later. 13. Anyway, we're going to let aggro go next.
I think this might end up being a light category for me, but I am going to start with Valkyrie Elysium because I've seen it. I have experienced the savings. It's not like there are pockets where they try and skimp and shave budget here and there. It looks like the slider just got turned down.
Oh yeah.
The slider's like, you could go 1 to 10, and you're like, great, can I turn it off? You want to turn the money off? Yes, I do.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. Same explanation. Everything Bob said about Elden Ring's Crypts was technically correct, but he's wrong and I hate him. So I'm going to vote for Solstice because the more I hear about that game, the more I want to hit it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to hold off there.
Okay. Chris?
Soul Hackers 2. The cyberspace levels in Sonic Frontiers, that's literally what they are, to the point they take the layouts from previous Sonic games. And no, I don't care that they came up with a plot reason for it. It's abjectly just they didn't have time to actually design levels, and they needed something to help pad out the game.
Yeah.
Because they were afraid this open world thing wasn't going to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is that. And it's really sad that it is that it's not even original designs.
And they don't even have all the aesthetics from back then. It's just 4 reused aesthetics on levels that just don't fit them.
Is it 4 or 3?
It might be 3.
It's 4. I think 'cause
okay.
you have Chemical Plant. I think you have Chemical Plant. You have Green Hill Zone. You have Sky Sanctuary, and then you have like 1 or 2 highway levels. But that's by far the least used one.
Yeah, it's really depressing.
Babylon's Fall. The entire fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna vote for Solstice. Solstice earns mercy for one reason. It's $40.
Fair.
They passed the savings on to you.
Hooray!
They did. So I'm gonna give it to Pokemon Legends Arceus.
I've been moved by Chris's words. I'm going to remove my vote from Solstice and put it on the cyberspace levels.
Yeah, those cyberspace levels are terrible.
Yeah, that they are one of the most disappointing aspects of this game, of that game, in that it's like, this is really cool, and if you use the leaderboard system on PS5, it would be really, really cool, but it's completely pitiful that you could not make new levels. How did it end up like this? Sincerely, how do you not understand that people like this but don't want to be playing the same levels they did forever ago? Like, could you imagine Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 were like, what? Emerald Hill. Every time. Exactly. Okay, sorted by most votes to least votes. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Soul Hackers 2. Babylon's Fall. Crypts from Elden Ring. Cyberspace levels from Sonic Frontiers. Solstice. Valkyrie Elysium. And with no votes, Bayonetta 3. I'm going to delete Bayonetta 3. Now, there is a 4-way tie between Babylon's Fall, Crypts from Elden Ring, cyberspace levels from Sonic, and Solstice. Okay. We're going to get 1 vote each, and you need to vote between Babylon's Fall, Crypts from Elden Ring, cyberspace levels from Sonic Frontiers, and Solstice. We'll start with Bob.
Oh, this is rough.
You got to be to compete.
I guess, yeah.
We're going to try to bring 2 up, but we're voting on 1 at a time.
I'm going to stick my vote for Crypts.
Okay. Aggro.
I mean, Chris is kind of right about Solstice, and it's the only thing on this list I had beef with.
Okay. So you abstain?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris?
The Crypts are bad. That is true.
Nope. Incorrect.
But they try things with them to at least sometimes they surprised me. I was never surprised a single fucking time with those cyberspace levels.
I try to not speak in tones like this. But Bob,
Yeah.
diegetically speaking, I feel like the crypts work way better for me in this game world exists these crypts
Uh-huh.
than the cyberspace, which is nebulous because data is magic, takes you to exact replicas of old Sonic levels.
Yes.
And that's why I'm voting for the Sonic thing over the crypts.
It's fair. I cannot argue that. Cyberspace levels, as I've said, very bad. Like, super disappointing. Should not have happened like that.
It's a cool idea. It shouldn't have been one-to-one recreations of old levels. If there's one thing I never want in a new Sonic game, for the next 2 entries at least, is any revisits of old levels. It's over.
Yeah.
Fucking drop it. I'm so sick of seeing them.
Yeah, and then it doesn't even have any good vibes from it either, because a lot of them are revisiting old levels with the wrong aesthetic.
The wrong aesthetic. Yeah, exactly.
It just looks really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a level where that is just a reused level from Generations with the assets from Generations that was already that wasn't even unique in Generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally at a point where my beef used to just be with Emerald Hill Zone or Green Hill Zone. Now it's with any old Sonic level because they've gotten this psychotic about it.
Yeah.
So I think that helps us elevate at least Sonic's cyberspace levels to third place, allegedly, for now. We still need a runner-up, though. Let people vote. One vote between the Crypts from Elden Ring, Solstice, Babylon's Fall, and Valkyrie Elysium for runner-up. One vote. I'll start. Babylon's Fall. That was a $60 game. That content was not high rent or acceptable at all. If it was a free-to-play game, it still would have been budget as shit. What the hell were they thinking? Bob.
Yeah, it's true. Babylon's Fall should never have been made. I don't know how that launched. So yeah, sure, I'll throw the vote in there. We can just beat it to death.
Shoot that guy. Chris.
Babylon's Fall.
Aggro.
I mean, I've got to give it to Valkyrie Elysium because when I finished a mission, they went, "Good job. Here's your next mission. Do that level you just did. Do a third of it backwards."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's what's in that game.
Yeah, that's a side mission.
They do the Neo stuff, but Neo is 140 hours long even without that. So,
Oh my god,
it's a little different in Neo.
Yeah, I guess if we segregated this to literally just doing the extra level, the extra character they put in later, where you play as the rival Valkyrie, and that entire thing is walking through the game backwards.
Yeah, the entire thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
That's content value.
it is.
People seem to accept it when it was called Devil May Cry 4.
No, they didn't.
No, I didn't.
That's true. No, they didn't.
I absolutely. Devil May Cry 4 was the flattest Devil May Cry has ever landed for me. Because
I'm sorry. It's been 15 years, so I'm allowed to rewrite history on it. That's the rule.
that is not the rule, actually. Thank you. So currently our lineup for Budget Dimension of the Year looks like Pokemon Legends Arceus, Soul Hackers 2, Cyberspace Levels from Sonic Frontiers, and Babylon's Fall. Followed up by some weird tier of runner-up of Solstice, Valkyrie Elysium, and Crypts from Elden Ring. Does anyone want to argue anything up or down?
Those Sonic Frontier stages are really dire. I feel like they might go to the top in my head. What do other people think, though?
Soul Hackers 2 is entirely hallways. It is nothing but hallways. The entire game is hallways.
It was $60, wasn't it?
It was $60.
Oh my god.
And you couldn't even sprint initially. They had to patch that in.
Oh my god.
But see, here's the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
I think in the future years, we might just generalize to games instead of specific elements of games, and here's why. Because Soul Hackers 2, it's the whole damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonic Frontiers, it's like, it's the cyberspace levels. The actual open world environment looks really nice. The boss fights are glitched as shit, but it's kind of funny. So it feels weird to compare this one part of Sonic Frontiers to Soul Hackers 2. You know?
Yeah.
May do that in the future. This is complicated. Also, the contrast there in Sonic really makes the budget dimension part of budget dimension hit way harder.
It does. Like, that's the thing of, like, it's, you go to a literal dimension that is for budget.
Mm-hmm. The Soul Hackers 2 is like, we live in a shanty town, which also has a portal to a different shanty town.
An even cheaper shanty town.
Ooh.
Is that possible?
I did not vote for Pokemon Legends Arceus, but based on everything I've seen so far, I am absolutely okay with that taking first. But only if Soul Hackers 2 takes second. Because there was not 1 inch of that game that didn't look budget as hell.
The character models look fine.
They look nice. They look nice. That is true. Well, important character models look nice.
Don't worry about the others.
That's true. That's true. Luckily, there's not that many of those. I mean, there's not very many characters that aren't those because there's not a lot of NPCs.
Oh my god, this isn't helping.
So maybe we bring Soul Hackers 2 to the top and lower Pokemon Arceus below that.
Like some sort of king of hell.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Pokemon Arceus, if nothing else, has many great character designs.
Mm-hmm.
That T-pose with
Even
their
if
face.
a lot of them are remixes of old ones.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to have to rely on people who have played both. Because, Bob, you've seen Soul Hackers 2.
Yeah.
And you've beaten Pokemon Legends Arceus. Which one hits harder for you?
I think that Soul Hackers feels more budget, even though it's not on the Switch. Which is intense.
That almost makes it feel even more budget when it's like, this is a fucking 11 teraflops you're doing this with.
Pokemon Legends Arceus has slopes.
Ooh.
Yeah, you get to climb those slopes.
I heard you use geometry to make those, and those are hard.
They're really slapped together caves that are horrible, but I think they're better than anything I saw in Soul Hacker 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I relent to the knowledge that is Soul Hackers 2 is more budget than Pokemon Legends Arceus. That just makes sense.
King of no budget. It's budget dimensions within budget dimensions, whereas in Pokemon, you go to the hometown and things are pretty nice. And then you go to the outside world and you've entered a different area, a different space.
You walk into the fucking oil paint dimension where nothing has a true form.
Right?
Aggro, are you cool with this so far? Soul Hackers 2 first, Pokemon Legends Arceus second?
And as much as I really don't have much experience with either, yes, that is fine by me.
I think I would have to go crazy to permit cyberspace levels following from third.
Mm-hmm.
I think that truly is the definition. They robbed them of their original aesthetics and used their layouts 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's devilish.
It is, if nothing, it's almost innovative in the realm of budget dimensions. Next, they're going to figure out a story reason that they're literally using tester environments, so it's all boxes.
I would rather have had that.
Could you imagine Halo Infinite did that?
It almost did.
It's like, hey, remember this classic level from Halo? Now it's made with boxes.
They're going to make Forged levels official.
Yeah?
No.
Here's your content, bitch. You said you liked Forge. But man, why do we have so many strong contenders? I like Babylon's Fall shouldn't be a runner-up, but I don't know what to do about it. God, give me the strength. I think we can lock this in and I can walk away safely. I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts?
This looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, this looks about right.
Aggro?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, we'll lock it in. The winner of Budget Dimension of the Year is Soul Hackers 2, followed by Pokemon Legends Arceus, the cyberspace levels from Sonic Frontiers, and Babylon's Fall as runner-up. I think that's all our categories.
I think so.
Yippee. Hey, that's all of our categories.
Yippee.
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 I don't know. I feel like I want something a bit meatier.
The executive producers for this month on GigaBoots are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blade 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, The Plan, Super Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and